This is what we've always dreamed of. A place to compete, where we're seen and heard.
This moment right here, can nobody take this from me?
A platform to be unapologetically ourselves and celebrated for it.
We are the future.
The space to be loud, where we are resilient, ruthless, radiant. Athletes Unlimited defies all expectations. And only we know the determination it takes to get here. This is where champions are forged. No more asking, explaining, or justifying what we do. Get ready, because this is our moment.
Welcome to Arizona, where Athletes Unlimited Volleyball on ESPN is presented by the Air National Guard. We're in Mesa, Arizona, inside Legacy Park. Team Linehan and Team Edmond, the teams that won on Friday night, are squaring off tonight. Who's going to be able to go in tomorrow with another win? Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us. I'm Anne-Marie Anderson alongside Key Michael. And Savannah Collins will be joining us a little bit later. Key, as we look at this matchup, what are you going to have your eye on?
Well, I don't think you're going to be surprised when I tell you there are some big guns on both sides, but I'm most importantly looking out for those middle blockers. Here they are. Well, these two teams are the most balanced of the four for me, and that's got a lot to do with the setters running an offense that includes a little bit of everything. Most importantly, getting their middles. These two running early and often. Both middles were plucked off the Hens powerhouse squad from last week, but both have put up 6 kills, 2 blocks for their respective sides. Classically, Molly McCade, she's more of an offensive threat. She loves to run that high slide behind. There it is, especially with Nutsara, who she has for the 3rd time this season. They are on point when it comes to running that ball. Well, Bastianelli on the other side, she's more known for her defensive strength at the net. She had 19 blocks over the season so far. She is an absolute wall. And I am just curious to see if she will have an answer to that fast offense that we will undoubtedly see on the blue side tonight.
Okay, you love your middles. I know that. Is that because you were one? Anybody else you have an eye on?
Well, in addition, Van de Weider, she was picked up early by Edmond in the draft. In fact, 5th overall. There you can see her numbers as she climbed up in the rankings. Of course, Nunaviller and Chaussee were already off the board at this point. Edmond and Linehan were captains themselves, but she was still chosen over Betty, over Yossiana Presley, over Ari Cruz. Fantastic volleyball players, which just tells me that Van de Weider, although not getting a lot of playing time early in the season, she's really been proving herself on the court and in practice in the last few weeks.
Yeah, she has such a steadying pass and serve receive that just helps. And of course, the gold team, Leah Edmond, has been a captain every week. If you're just joining us for the first time on Athletes Unlimited Volleyball, let me break it down for you because it is so much fun. It is some of the best volleyball you will see. 44 world-class athletes on 4 teams. They've got an innovative scoring system that we'll walk you through. We'll help you with that. And the teams are drafted each Tuesday by captains that are the top 4 on the leaderboard at the end of the previous week. All these decisions can come down to player-led, player-driven, and that's really what's special about Athletes Unlimited.
There is no league like it. I played professionally for 10 years, and I can tell you, I was not choosing making decisions when it came to uniforms. I was not saying when we could have training or when we would rest. That is all player-led here, and it's so unique.
And some idea on the scoring. Here's the idea. Each set that you win, everybody on your team gets 40 points. But they also keep an aggregate score. You add up your score from 3 sets, and there's 60 points for everybody on the team from that overall win. And then there's more points on top of individual stats and MVP points voted at the end of the match as well. So lots to do. Let's welcome in the 3rd member of our crew, Savannah Collins.
Well, you both mentioned Lindsay Van de Weider, and Leah Edmond said that she wished they had known they had such a great connection because she would have started drafting her a lot earlier in the season, but hey, better late than never. Van de Weider agreed. She said she's loved playing with Leah because it frees her up from all the responsibility to have to terminate balls. She said, it kind of allows me to be craftier, even crispier with her attacks, if you can be. That's how she described it. But she says week after week, she feels like the things for her that are starting to come together are her passing game. That's something she's taken a lot of pride in. She missed week 2. She felt that like that gave her a chance to get her body right. And now we're starting to see her have more and more playing time and making bigger impacts on offense in these games.
Savannah, you have been around and in the trenches for all 4 weeks. This is week 4 of 5. How have you seen the players and teams kind of relax into each other over the last few weeks?
Absolutely. I think it takes time to create connections on any team. But whenever you talk to the athletes about how are things going, where are you at in the season, they're starting to say, well, I've played with everybody now, so I kind of know what I'm going to get. And I think that is really playing into how we're starting to see these teams come together. But if there's one thing that still matters, it's chemistry on the court. The captains emphasize it, some draft specifically for that, over how someone is doing statistically. So it really plays into the success of these teams. Vanda Wider even said it in our last conversation. She said, this team has really great chemistry, and that's going to be the biggest factor in winning games, especially down the line.
Thank you, Savannah. Team Edmond in the black is going to serve first. Notice the gold numbers. That's because Leah Edmond was the top point winner last week, top of the leaderboard.
She's been there pretty much since week 1. She's been fantastic. I know she's been a 3-time captain already. It was only week 1 that she wasn't, but she's been fantastic. Keeping those gold jerseys on.
Nutsara Tomcom serve is handled. There's Vanda Wider, picked up by Nutsara. Allie Linehan, Captain Linehan, introducing herself. Now, we gave you an idea about some of the points, but for the individual statistics, here's what you really need to get excited about when you see it. A service ace worth 12 points, block 12, but you also get subtractions for mistakes. So it's ever changing throughout the match.
And you'll notice there that the addition this year are those block assists. So it used to be that middles were scrapping to get points because we don't get a lot of attacks or a lot of things other than those blocks. So now they've added those couple of points there for when you close the block or get a slowdown on the block.
One of the toughest servers in the league, Natalia Valentine Anderson, serving. Pass is perfect. Collazo. Back again, Collazo through the block. Willow Johnson trying to break through. And it's just a little traffic jam on Team Linehan.
Yeah, that's a tough position because the ball was up, and I think Karis Watson just wasn't sure. Should I take it? Should I leave it for Nomara Spelez Augusto, who's right behind me? And we talked about this in an earlier game, and it's an ongoing theme with Athletes Unlimited. You only have a short amount of time, 1 week, to get to know your team. You don't have a long time to put that system in place. Communication is so important.
Back to Linehan. Over dig. Valentine Anderson trying to get up to receive that. What rallies we're having already. Back behind, Collazo looks for the corner and misses it long. Leah Edmond, each team gets 2 challenges. Leah's asking for 1. What do you see, Kate?
Well, the question is, did that ball go in or out? Because it definitely didn't touch anyone at the net. Maybe we'll get another look at that in real time.
Yeah,
For me, it looked out.
You don't get to keep your challenge even if you win it. So
That's
with the
tough.
2 challenges. So Team Edmond having to use 1 very early.
Yeah, that's a tough rule because in international volleyball, if you use that challenge and you're correct, you keep it. So effectively, you have infinite amount of challenges. Oh, actually, now on that looks in. Great stabbing defense there. Collazo opens herself up, gets that big approach. She definitely doesn't tag the blockers.
Just missed being able to see it. But that's some pretty strong outs on Team Linehan. We can get into the psychology of how strong you are saying out, 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 out.
Oh, absolutely, the psychology of it. So the players here are definitely influencing the line judge. Oh, that does look like it's in. They've
Or
all
trying
screamed
to.
out. He looks like he's locked in, though. I mean,
Yeah.
you can't accuse him of sleeping on the line, on the job.
Perfect spot.
Well, he made that call pretty confidently.
Here are the 3 things that can be challenged. Ball in or out, block touch, service fault, net touch, and the center line fault. And our officials, after looking at it, have come to a decision. The call is reversed. A solid challenge for Team Edmond.
Yeah, that's the way to use your challenge, and it's pretty early. So like you said, I think the gold team kind of questioned, hesitated, should we, shouldn't we? It was the right choice.
Valentine Anderson goes at Linehan. No problem for Allie. She wants to handle both. And the big bomber does a little soft touch.
I like a little finesse.
Yeah.
A little frustrating if you're on the gold side because the ball came up with Genesis Collazo coming sprinting over from the other side, but putting it out of reach of her other teammates.
Captain Linehan serving. Willow Johnson rotates to the front court.
Oh.
There's nothing like a dribble ace. For every ace during this year's Athletes Unlimited volleyball season, Aspiration is committed to planting 10 trees. Heading into this week, 930 trees had already been committed thanks to Aspiration support. 10 more committed to after that ace. What'd you say about Vanda White again at the beginning of the show?
Woo! I mean, talk about a dark horse. She has crept her way up and proving what she can do, and that's a perfect example. That ball going wide, drifting past the block, and the decision here is, do I cut it off early, or do I wait for it to float and then go down the line? She had both options open, but I like that hammer.
On the other side, here's her collegiate teammate, Willow Johnson. Both of them played at Oregon. The Ducks ruling the last two plays.
Yeah, I love when we see teammates, former teammates become enemies, obviously in a friendly sense.
Exactly.
It happens now on this in college or after college all the time, but now it goes even week by week.
Yeah,
so
week
these
by week.
teammates now turned frenemies.
Leah Edmond, pressure. Willow Johnson, she's an X factor for me.
Oh, she's fantastic when she gets going. And I remember asking her early in the season about her connection with Nutsara because it's been a little bit squiffy is the word I'm going to use. But it is on point now. She knows that she's getting that ball a little faster, a little bit wider. That one dying inside, and maybe she's just adjusting more as well.
I'll use Squippy somewhere in here.
Squiffy.
Genesis Collazo again goes down the line. Watson finds it too hot to handle.
So if squiffy isn't the technical term, correct me, but I like that heat.
Very descriptive, just beautiful. Kaz Brown, who played her collegiate ball for Kentucky behind the service line, and Leah Edmond, and on the other side, Allie Linehan. All of them, Kentucky Wildcats. Erin Fairs has come in and just does the little shot. She played her collegiate ball for Louisville.
Yeah, Erin Ferris, another one of those players that hasn't really gotten all that much of a look in this season. She's been with AU since the first year, and she's a very strong attacker.
Shorter blockers on the pins here, and Nutsara gets up to get a part of it. Molly McCage is there on the outside.
Wow.
Smart beats power.
Fairs, I feel like might have a little something to prove as well. She was picked in the 10th position in the 10th round of the draft. But again, with only 44 players in this league, everyone has something to add, but I like that roll straight into the middle. She wasn't in perfect position to swing, so next best thing.
Yeah, and her captain, Allie Linehan, has another outside, and that's probably why she waited. She already had herself as one of the players. Big time block against Molly McCage, Edmond, and Bastianelli.
Well, Bastianelli doing exactly what we knew she would. Closing it up. I'm going to give that mostly to Leah. She is all over it. Low and tight with the passion we're used to seeing her. Effectively, a one-on-one just throws those arms in the face of Johnson.
Collazo's serve. Well passed. What a cover. Allie Bastianelli sending everything back. Get that out of here time and time again. Willow Johnson slips it past.
And I think Willow's a confidence player. So even if she does get blocked that first time, you can't really count her out. She's going to go again even harder this time. She's from the backcourt, so has a little more angle to work with, and she finds the floor.
And of course, a lefty opposite, always valuable. Fair's serving Allie Linehan front court now. That's a big block from Molly McCage. Send it back. Very rarely does McCage hit in front these days.
Well, she can do everything.
Yeah.
I think she prefers that one leg behind. She plays in that C1 position where she's up with the setter more often. So there's 2 rotations where the middle has the setter at the same time in the front court. So she just more often goes that one behind. But hey, don't call her out. Don't tell her she can't do anything. She'll just show you she can.
Service ace. We're planting trees on Athletes Unlimited.
Good start for the Aces. And Fairs, again, bringing a little something extra. A little sauce on it. A little Texas Houston style.
This is Allie Linehan's second time being captain. She was winless in week 2. First win the other day. That's 3 aces already for Team Linehan.
Erin Fairs, let them know. And that one's short, so the good servers are always the ones that'll go deep and then switch it up and go really short. Does really well to drop that one in.
Timeout called by Team Edmond. Stop this momentum and have a chat about it. We will step away. Team Linehan doubling up Team Edmond in set number 1. Athletes Unlimited Volleyball on ESPN is sponsored by the Air National Guard and by Aspiration, a global leader in financing climate impact. Welcome back. Quick timeout by Team Edmond early in set number 1. This is the second match of our double header tonight. Earlier, it was a fantastic match between Team Hilly and Team Hens. Morgan Hens and Sydney Hilly leading that. And the setter for Team Hens was Alicia Childress. Athletes Unlimited is amplifying the voices of moms in sport, and you have 3 kids. Alicia, what does it mean to you to have the kind of support that Athletes Unlimited gives specifically to mothers?
You know, they have a really great policy for moms and, expecting moms. And I think they just, from start to finish, they want to support you. They want to be there for you along your way. And I think for me individually, it's important to be playing so that other athletes, if they're contemplating, that they don't have to make a choice between continuing my career or having kids. So we can do both, and we can definitely do both here.
Well, we're so happy that you did continue your career. Alicia, you've played for 4 different captains now, De La Cruz, Edmond, Rosenthal, and Hens. Can you give us a little insight into each one and their captaining style?
Yeah, I think, there's a lot of individual differences among the captains, and then also specifically in the role that they play. So you have an outside hitter, a libero, you have a middle. So it's unique in the way that they think about the game and the areas of focus. And so I've just tried to say, hey, how can I help and how can I support you in this?
I want to go back to moms in sport for a minute. I also have 3 kids. Alicia, what kinds of services do you get? Like, how does Athletes Unlimited support you?
So all the kids are considered in market, and so while they allow me to stay at an Airbnb or rental nearby, so that I can take care of them in our home rather than trying to be in a hotel. So they worked with me on that. They helped me with nanny. So if I didn't have one, they would help me with like Care.com and finding some services. I know they've done that with Shayla in the past. So they're looking to help them. And then they're in market with me. So they want to take care of transportation. They want to take care of kind of anything that they might need on top of surprise and delights, right? They put together really cute bags where they had coloring supplies and little stuffed animals. And so they just thought of all the details to make the girls' time here really special.
It's unheard of. And in addition, Athletes Unlimited focuses on Black maternal health to ensure that all people can safely give birth and care for their children with dignity. What does that mean to you to know that Athletes Unlimited is thinking outside of the box and doing something that has never before really been done?
Yeah, I think it's so amazing that, we have passions and areas where we think we need to shine more light on. And this was one of them, Black maternal health, just realizing we haven't solved that. It's an issue and it's not something that we're putting enough attention to make moms feel informed, to make sure that they know the risks and that they feel protected in any environment that they choose to give birth in. And so that was a passion project of ours, and it was really cool that they said, yes, let's run with that, let's make it an impact week, and do everything we can about educating the athletes, creating awareness in the greater population. And so we did just that, and I'm just so thankful that I get to be a part of a league that says that's really, really important. We want high-level volleyball, we want high-level people to talk about the things that they care about.
So many high-level people in this league. Now, I said to Anne-Marie in the last match that I could barely even get myself out of bed undressed as a professional athlete. Sometimes that's hard. You have 3 other people that you're taking care of. What's the hardest thing that we might not even think about as being a high-level athlete and a mom at the same time?
Yeah, I think the idea that, you're on the court and then you take time off, or you say, I'm going to rest, or I'm going to sleep in this morning, or I'm going to focus on recovery. And, the time that others are spending on that are the times that I'm engaging with my kids. So, not a lot of downtime. And it's funny because I reflect back on the time when I was an athlete and it felt like I didn't have enough time, and that felt a little silly now. Like there's even less time. But I think they also bring so much joy. If there's a loss, then they come out on the court and they're smiling and they're happy, and they just put things into perspective. So it is a little bit challenging on the time management piece, but and so my typical day looks a little different on game days, right? I'm hanging out with the kids versus relaxing or taking a nap. But having them here and having them run out on the court after is exactly what I hoped for when I came back to sport.
A nap, what's that? Meanwhile, we're looking at a little shot of your little ones. What ages are the kids?
So 6, 4, and 2.
Man, I know that's hard. Good job by you.
We're in it. Yeah, we're in it.
What's harder, that or playing the Olympics?
Oh my gosh. In such different ways, but both challenging,
okay.
Right? It's just a different mindset, right? I think you both have to have a short-term memory loss. Like, that was really hard, but I got to keep going. I got to move on to the next thing or the next kid. So similar approaches, but different scenarios.
Every day is Mother's Day. Thank you, Alicia, for telling us about this. I'm so touched by moms in sport.
Oh, so good. Thank you.
Meanwhile, the match, Team Linehan has really stepped on the gas. There's one thing we know about Leah Edmond. She hates to lose more than she loves to win.
That's actually such a good point about her. She's one of the most passionate players, and I feel like being down by 7 points, that's exactly what's going to turn her on.
From the back court, Allie Linehan. It's a tough ball because it's coming over the shoulder. Erin Ferris takes a big swing. It's wide. On the left side of your screen, you're going to see our leaderboard. It's all 44 players. Leah Edmond, hence Linehan were all captains this week. Sydney Hilly dropped down a little bit while Brooke Nunnever moved in. This is a dynamic leaderboard. It changes constantly with every skill or every play that you do. Key, you played in this league. a couple of years ago. When would you kind of examine the points?
Oh, man. First of all, that feels like a million years ago. But I think the key to it is you don't really look at the points. You don't really look at the score and the leaderboard, especially myself, who was not in the running for any kind of medals. I was way down there at the bottom in the 30s and 40s. But I think every player out there realizes how unique this is. It adds a fun layer of excitement, a little bit more of something to kind of think about, but nothing to just get distracted by, I would say.
There's a challenge on the play. The original call was out. And they're challenging a net violation. And I saw it immediately after the play. Some of the Team Linehan players were looking to see if there was a net.
Oh, I don't see net.
Was it a graze that they're questioning by Kaz Brown of her forearms?
This will be the best angle to see it. No, I don't see a
No, I
net
don't
at
see
all.
a break
Unless
in the
there's
net.
something on the way down. No. It does move a little awkwardly there at the end, but I don't think it was because of those players. I think something else somewhere else might have been going on.
Yeah, and again, it has to be conclusive evidence for the call to be overturned. A decision has been made, and the call stands. No net touch. So each team now has one challenge left in this set. Willow Johnson up front, looking at her former teammate Lindsay Van de Weyde serving. Willow Agosto. Willow Johnson, high hands will do you in every time.
Yeah, smart from Willow. Now, I know she's the kind of player who loves to just crunch the ball straight down, but you have to be a bit clever, and she's taken a couple blocks already, so that high swing, exactly like you said, Anne-Marie, it's just clipping the fingertips, and if there wasn't a touch, it'd go out of bounds.
Riazzo, we've seen her do several different things from the right. What did you like about that one?
I liked a lot. First of all, I mean, as a middle blocker myself, I knew this was coming. Karis Watson had just served, and you're always going to target the middle after they serve. So Collazo sees it out of the side of her eye, just puts a little bit on it. She knows there's no libero back there. She's 9 times out of 10 getting that point.
Why are you going to target the middle after the serve?
Well, you know I love me some middles at the net. But
Yes.
in defense,
Yes.
we're not known for our strength in terms of defense. A little slower, a little taller, a little ganglier we tend to be. And not often keeping the ball off the ground the way a libero might.
There you go. And she had a long road to go, right? She's playing left back, so that's part of it. Willow Johnson, meanwhile, pounding kill. Team Linehan kind of running away with this a little bit. Kendall White with the pass. Chased down. White, perfect pass. Bastianelli tight behind the setter.
Well, that was, first of all, starting that rally off with a really great pass by White. It went right on the head of Valentine Anderson. So that's what starts that rally off in a good direction. But I like that Natalia's also using her middle then. And we talked about Bastianelli being more of a defensive middle. Get her in the offense, too.
Trouble pass. Molly McCage to the middle. Talk to me about the decision and the execution of going to the middle.
I mean, Nutsara is just breaking the rules almost every time she touches the ball. Look how far off the net is. She's at the 3-meter line, crosses it. Then she goes, you know what? I'm feeding my middle anyway. I don't care. I'm getting this ball to Molly. Blockers are not expecting that on the other side.
No, and that's something Molly told me the other day. As she said, Nutsara will make, she'll make the risky set. She says from anywhere on the court, and it just built trust between them. So Molly's always ready.
That's exactly the point that you have to do. As a middle blocker, you have to always be ready. Especially if you have a good setter like Nutsara. You cannot sleep. You cannot say, oh, this ball's a little off the net, so I'm not really going to run my route as hard as I might. No, you go, you commit, you're up in the air, you're ready. She just pushes that into your window, and you just connect.
Yeah, Molly was saying that, you know, she's got such good court awareness and so much experience. She releases the ball differently. She can play with it a bit. Lots of good things coming from Nutsara. Tom-com, and they're having a romance there in the middle.
Yeah, love story starting here in the blue jersey. and I talked about it in the intro, and for good reason. Molly McCage and Nutsara, they've gotten to know each other. They're back together for the third time. They are feeling that connection as if they've had a season together.
Pass out to Van der Weide. Get more access, no matter where you are, by joining the Unlimited Club. You can vote on game MVPs, which is after every match, for points, enjoy virtual events, contribute to the player bonus pool, and more. And it only costs $20. Sign up now at auprosports.com/membership. It's a cool thing, because then you're voting too.
Yeah, get involved. You can add to that MVP.
Nice pass, goes to Willow Johnson. Leah Edmond is so ready to hit a ball on her side. Allie Linehan shut down with the block. It's extra special when Natalia Valentine Anderson gets her hands on the ball.
Yeah, don't count her out of the block ever. She is small but mighty. She will press her hands over, and we haven't even talked about Kaz Brown, who's been one of the best blockers this season as well. So the two of them combined, you'd think it might be a disadvantage to have a small blocker. No, if she is disciplined, that's fine.
I want extra points for any block from somebody who's under 5'7". Change of pace by Allie Linehan. She has been so consistent.
All right, I'll give you extra points for the shorter blockers if middle's gonna get extra points for their defense. Deal?
No.
All right, setters can get double points if they attack.
Sure.
Okay. Agreed.
Nutsara Tomcom. Outside. Executed perfectly off hands. Don't see Nutsara dump very much. Nutsara gets the ball up, but nobody's able to get that second touch. Team Edmond within 5.
And how about that tomahawk from Kaz White? Oh, Kendall White, excuse me. I've got the names all confused as well. She's just going overhead, the backwards gator, to keep it in play.
Leah Edmond is itching to get set. She likes big sets in big moments. Linehan pushing to the corner. Genesis Carriazo through the middle of the block.
Well, to your point about Leah Edmond, she's only had 9 attempts. But that is why Natalia Valentine Anderson, she loves to spread the offense. She's getting Carriazo involved, and it's the right thing to do, right? You saw that hole between the blockers.
Yeah, I'm sure she saw the middle blocker coming in a little late. Played her collegiate ball at Florida International, but she's from Caguas, Puerto Rico. Lefty on the left side twice. Uh-oh. 3 times. And the block owning it. Kaz Brown and Carriazo forming a wall for Team Edmond.
That's got to be credit to Natalia Valentine Anderson on that first defense, keeping the ball in play. You thought it was done, but that's a huge defensive effort.
Team Linehan going to try to stop the bleeding with a timeout. Monster block to shut it down.
I have a grandfather-in-law. His name is actually Kenneth Moore, and I want to say his name because he's 100 years old. And he, at 100 years old, and me knowing him for maybe a decade now, He actually has influenced my life a lot. I take him to lunch with my husband and my sister-in-law every Thursday, and he's the one person that's always there and just wants to live life. Doesn't matter if he cannot walk anymore, if he can hear right, or if he cannot see well anymore. He always says, kiddos, just don't ever stop moving. You know, that's the key to live a healthy life. And I think that always sticks with me.
I love that. 100 years old. How special is that? Set one, Team Linehan and Team Edmond battling out. Team Edmond in black and gold, making a push. Willow Johnson, good timeout because she changed the tide after that timeout. Ends the run of 3.
Yeah, there was a little bit of a momentum kick there on the gold side. And Willow Johnson, she's been the most productive so far on the blue side. 6 points for her. Keeps the run going. Another timeout. That was quick.
Yes. Well, it was Team Linehan last time, so it's Team Edmond this time. If not now, when, right? It's 23-19.
Yeah. I wish we could get in there. In the international game, you get the microphones in the timeouts, so you actually get to hear everything going on there. But they've got Dave Rubio, and interestingly enough, he's the only facilitator who's actually undefeated as well. So he's at the head now with Edmond. They're returning from being together in week 1, and I feel like he's just taken a bit of the pressure off of Leah Edmond.
Let's check in with Savannah.
So that 7-point deficit that Team Edmond had to work out of, they were very aware. I could see Leah Edmond's eyes throughout that match cutting up to the scoreboard, because in her mind and in the huddle, they were talking about every point is going to matter, not only to win this set, but if you're in a 7-point deficit in the overall in this game, that is quite the hole to crawl out of. So some of the things that they were talking about is they felt like they were really stepping up their defense, but their facilitator, Dave Rubio, said, hey, we have to continue to run down the garbage, but let's keep getting after it in this game and try and pull in and close this gap so we set ourselves up better in these following 2 sets to chase after that overall win.
Dave Rubio is something special, and you know what? He's going to miss next Friday's matches because he's being inducted into the University of Arizona Sports Hall of Fame.
Well, that's a good enough reason as any.
Yes, and Rob Gronkowski is in his class. Now, you do not know who that is, Savannah, because it's an American football player. He played for the Patriots, won Super Bowls, but to have Gronk in there, it's kind of cool. Not as good as having, like, Taylor Swift in there, but pretty close.
Football only for me. I mean,
Yes.
volleyball only, not football.
Linehan going towards the sideline, brought back in with the dig. And a net violation against Team Linehan. Leah Edmond gets to scratch the itch with a kill.
She is one of those players that it's just never done, and it's never over until it's over. So like you were saying, she was looking for that kill. Great dig from Valentine Anderson, and then White knowing exactly who to feed. 2 blockers up, doesn't care. Well,
Aaron Fairs, Collazo, and Kaz Brown. Wow, they are amazing. Sign up for free to play Athletes Unlimited Fantasy. auprosports.com/fantasy. And you can try to put teams together and pick your players. Good luck, it's hard. Kaz Brown is in the middle. Go to your captain, and what a dig by Allie Linehan, her former teammate. Willow Johnson going in, a ripper inside the block.
well, Linehan getting out of a little bit of a sticky situation there. I'm not sure what happened there, that 3 players were standing around. Nutsara comes sprinting out of somewhere to take the second ball.
Not my job, right? It is set point, Team Linehan. Willow Johnson having a breakout match in that one, but they needed a breakout set, I should say. 8 kills for Willow Johnson. Taylor Bruns-Tegenroot serving. Molly McCage sends it back and smiles afterwards. Leah Edmond extra hard, big dig. This is still for the set. And Team Edmond not so fast, my friend.
I've been really impressed with Collazo so far. She's got a little bit of everything going. 7 points now for her, but she's kind of cleaning up some garbage. Leah Edmond hasn't been quite as effective so far, so Collazo just out there on the pin.
Rai Santos serving for Team Edmond. It's the first time we have seen her in this set. It is set point number 2 for the athletes in blue, Team Linehan. That's a tough one, and the set will end on that. Team Linehan captures set 1. 40 points for each player off of that set.
Well, that's a frustrating way to end for the gold side, but Linehan certainly deserved. They had that huge run there in the middle. I think we blinked and it was 17-10, something to that effect. And Leah Edmond's going to be asking something more of her team.
Team Linehan strikes first in the battle between 2 unbeaten teams. Set 2 next. Set 1 in the books, a 3-point win for Team Linehan. Joining us now for a chair chat is Cassidy Lickman, who's done a little bit of everything with Athletes Unlimited. Cass, you were a player for a number of years. You're part of the player executive committee. And now you've got a new role called Director of Sport. What does that mean?
Yeah, it means I'm kind of in charge of all the operations around here. So anything volleyball related in the company falls a little bit under my domain. There's a lot of people that help with that, obviously, amongst our staff, but the buck stops with me, I guess, when it comes to volleyball.
Well, I know you're being humble, Cass, because you do a little bit of everything. You do whatever it takes. I think I saw you pushing around Gatorade ice buckets the other day. I said, is that part of your job? She's like, I do whatever is needed of me. And that speaks to just the kind of people that you're bringing into Athletes Unlimited. Can you talk about the good humans? Molly McCage mentioned it, who you're recruiting to bring into Athletes Unlimited.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's been like that every season, but especially this season. Just the roster from top to bottom is really incredible people. And as we go from season to season, we not only are able to up the level of play and the level of talent, but really be picky about who we want to bring into this league. And it's such an incredible community. And I think that's a really special part of Athletes Unlimited. And this roster has been incredible this year.
Well, and a lot of the initiatives we've been talking about, moms in sport and things like that, that AAU is committed to. You mentioned the people as people, but the level of play you kind of snuck in there. How does this level of play this year compare to years past?
I think we've definitely taken a big step up. You know, I think we were surprised in season 1 that the level was as high as it was, you know, starting out a new professional league in the U.S. We went up a little bit last year, but this year I feel like we've taken a big jump. And, you know, I played all across Europe and Asia, you know, some of the best leagues in the world, and I would put this up there with most of them. And I think that what sets us apart, too, is not only is it a really high level of play, but, you know, when you're playing a 7-month season in Europe or, you know, a 4-month season in China, there's a lot of games that don't really matter. And here, I think you can feel it. Every night matters. Every point matters. And so these players are getting after it every night. And so the level of competitive intensity is just super, super high. And it just feels like playoff volleyball every time we're in here.
Well, we call this a player-led league as well, and I can speak to that personally because I remember season 1, the player executive committee would come up and literally ask questions about, hey, what do you think about long pants versus short pants? Or what's your opinion on this? So can you talk to us exactly what it means for the players to be involved in decision-making? What does that look like?
It's huge. I mean, they really are. So now in my role on staff, you know, I meet with the player executive committee and, you know, John Patrick and Jonathan Soros, our founders, and members of our staff every single week, and they're weighing in on every decision that we make about this league. Like you said, from what we wear to where we play, you know, this new venue in Phoenix, to what the rules are, to who the players are that we bring in here. And so they're really involved in every single part of it.
You got out of answering this question because the set has started. I was going to ask who's your favorite teammate ever, but no. He thinks it's her, but we got to go.
I told her there's only one right answer.
How would you answer that question?
I mean, it's obviously Kia.
Oh.
I can't.
Oh,
I love
wow.
you guys.
That's it.
All right, well, that stops the interview. Thank you, Cassidy, for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for sneaking that in, Anne-Marie.
Well, I put pressure on. What if she had said somebody else?
I mean, she very well could have. I'm actually surprised she humored me.
Team Linehan leading 2-0. Nusara giggling.
Nutara's always giggling.
Yeah.
She is one of my favorite players to watch. I'm not the only person in the world. I think she has about 1 million people on Instagram who would agree with me. But because she always has fun
Yeah.
in life and in sport, great message. Do it.
We talked about Cassidy Lickman being on the player executive committee. This is the current player executive committee. Molly McCage, of course, really so critical to communication between the players and AU.
Yeah, and Molly actually has a little bit of background also now on the other side of it because she was the player care coordinator for softball, so she kind of understands what it is to be a player, but also to be part of the organization as a whole. So she's really good at sort of conveying messages, understanding what the players need, what the organization needs, and being a bridge between the two.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that's so unique about this league is that you're picking teams every week. You know, Sydney Hilly told me that she didn't sleep the night before the first time. A little snack.
I was going to say Molly's going to be so upset with
Yeah.
us for filming her
She didn't
snacking.
sleep the night before her first draft. But you're trying to put together a team, and it's been challenging for people. I think Willow Johnson goes pretty high on everybody's list.
Oh, yeah. She's always up there in the draft. I think she was taken in the 3rd round this week, but that's exactly because she's going to be delivering points. She's mature enough to handle the ball. She gets a lot of it. She's a good teammate, a positive person to be around, and that's a great example of someone that the player executive committee recruits these kind of players to be part of the teams.
Kendall White slides under it. Sets a little low to Kaz Brown. Goes out.
I love that you called that out a little bit low to the middle. I'm usually calling out the setter for the low sets.
It's frustrating. I was a middle before I was a setter.
Were you?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
I'm not good at anything. I just play a little. Just put me on the court.
That's not true.
Yeah. So
I always assume that middles have to be enormous like myself, but I mean,
They
I guess
should.
in high school level and before
I played
professional.
Division I college, thank you.
As a middle?
Yes, first year only.
Okay.
It was a long time ago.
You're pretty tall though, Henry.
Leah Edmond crushes. Change the conversation.
Okay, sorry. I digress. It's not always about the height. Leah also one of those players who she's not the tallest player out there. She's 6'2", but she absolutely hammers it home.
Willow Johnson pushing to the corner. This is a tough one for Vanderweide. How'd she do it? Blind to the block.
I was gonna say, you called it out how tough it was, and the reason is the ball's coming from basically behind her. I don't know if we'll get another look at it, but the set coming from over her shoulder. If she had eyes in the back of the head, then maybe she can see the whole court, but she has to look at the setter who's setting the ball itself, the net, the blockers, and the court on the other side, all at the same time.
Nutsara goes middle. They have not been running a lot in the middle because they've been doing this, and it's been working.
All right, let's look back at that point that you said was going to be difficult for Vanderweide, and here's why. There's the play. It comes off the net. Leah has to go back and set it from behind the court, basically, and Vanderweider's looking at everything at the same time.
She's so smart in everything she's doing. That time, attacking the tops of the fingertips.
Also a smart play. She's not trying to swing down. She recognizes that the block is tall and in place. So she's swinging high, aiming for the rafters. If there were no touch on it, it'd go way out of bounds, but that's the goal. Get that touch.
Yep, here we go. Service is long, and when you talk about points, a service error is a -8 to give you an idea as you look at the leaderboard. Betty De La Cruz, after missing 4 matches due to playing in the Pan Am Games with her Dominican Republic team, is in 5th right now. That's how far ahead she was before she left.
Of course, that doesn't take into effect this match right here. So gold and blue haven't yet got their win points, whichever one gets them.
Yep. And so you're looking at people like Molly McCage, Lindsay Vanderweide, anybody in yellow, Collazo, Valentine Anderson, who are going to be moving up, especially with Team Linehan winning the first set. McCage gets win points from that. Nutsar outside to Fairs, a one-on-one. Talk to me about what Molly McCage did there to allow that one-on-one.
Well, it's so important for your middle to be a threat every single time. And since Nutsara and Molly have established that they are a threat from all over the court, that is why the blockers on the gold side are hanging out with her. That little bit extra opens up one blocker on the outside for Erin Ferris to use.
Vanderweide, long. And it'll be interesting to see on Team Linehan right now how they use their hitters, because Nutsara is front court. She's a great blocker. You got Linehan, but Molly McCage can spread it out, as you've talked about, coming all the way behind.
Yeah, especially now because Nutsara, as you mentioned, front court. How does she get someone involved in the front?
Goes to Molly McCage on the most unlikely of sets.
I mean, you called it.
Erin Ferris serving. Ace serve for Erin Ferris as she drops it right in front of Leah Edmond.
Well, things starting to unravel on the gold side. The blue side putting a lot of pressure from literally every single angle.
Much like we saw in set number 1, an early timeout taken by Team Edmond in gold.
It's kind of like a layup. So I'm running off one foot. I also liken it to like if you ever did track, I used to do high jump. And so it's the same kind of move, like you're running off one foot. And it's one of my favorite sets as a middle. It's kind of like a rhythm set, I think. And you got to get a setter that's like willing to set it and chuck it back there.
What makes it so difficult to master?
You have to have faith in the set. So it's a run and chase kind of set. And you just have to build that relationship with your setter of like, chuck it back there and I'm going to trust my speed so that I can, you know, plant off one foot and get out there. You got to have a lot of body control, I think, because you're flying. You have to locate this ball as you're in the air. If you trust your speed and trust the setter, I think it can be really successful.
Well, Molly McCage's ability to not only hit the slide, but just about anywhere on the net tonight is having a huge effect in this game as Team Linehan leads 11-5. I even heard them mention it in the gold huddle as they talked about, hey, tonight they're not running anything behind with Molly. It's all in front. They need to change a little bit of their strategy. That is how impactful being able to run the slide can be on an offense and throwing off the other team's blockers. And McCage and Nutsara do it so well.
Thank you, Savannah. Molly has said, look, when she releases the ball, she plays with the timing. I mean, there's so many things that the casual viewer doesn't see. Key, what do you see when those two are working together?
And Molly makes it sound so casual, as if just chuck it back there and I'll hit it. And that's not the case for most middles. I can tell you I needed a very specific ball. It had to be in my window. It had to be a height and a width and a speed. But she is, because she's so versatile, she's able to just get any ball and do something good with it.
Linehan off high hands. Talking about the slide behind, that's Bastianelli.
Yeah, and Bastianelli, like we mentioned, she loves a good block, but as a middle blocker, you got to be able to do a little bit of everything, and she's certainly strong from that one leg behind as well. And every middle has their preference, but you've got to be able to do everything.
It's really fun to watch these matches on TV, but it's even better if you want to come here and see the action live, how powerful it is. You can buy tickets to come see us in Mesa, Arizona at auprosports.com/tickets. The power, the sounds the balls are making. You can see how high these athletes are jumping. Trouble pass, Fair steps in. Edmond on a broken play unloads.
And to your point about seeing it live, if you were to go see, let's say, Wisconsin, Nebraska, you're probably sitting in the nosebleeds.
Oh, yeah.
They're looking like ants to you. If you come to Athletes Unlimited, you're literally sidelined. I mean, the ball could fall in your lap at any moment. Like there, a couple of fans on the back there.
Bastianelli sent back. Well, that's a nice out-of-system set from Willow Johnson. Wow. Talk about chucking it up there.
Yeah, out of system, we talk about that a lot, and I think we've explained what it is a lot, but it's so important to train that in the weeks that you have a couple of trainings with your teammates, because everyone gives up a different out-of-system high ball, a little bit inside, a little bit outside, but being able to work that and use that well, it's so important.
Off the block. It's another great ball. They are setting out of system perfectly. What makes those sets so perfect for Linehan?
Well, I think it's because it's high and it's falling inside. So if it goes too wide, then the attacker on the outside is kind of leaning out. They don't have the advantage, but she's able to go full power into it. Her approach is going straight at that ball and inside the block, which might be a little wide on her.
And if you're just learning volleyball, the worst thing you can do on an out-of-system set is keep it off. Tight, you have many more options. Edmond getting hot. Not happy about dropping that first set. Gonna do something about it as the gold team's behind.
Chatting with Rubio about some options. Again, she likes to be in that captain role, and I feel like she takes on more of the captain coach role than some other players. They'll give all the responsibility to their facilitator, but I wonder how they're splitting it up there.
Unable to do it. Well, Leah Edmond also has been the captain all 4 weeks this season.
Yeah.
And she's in a great position to be captain again next week, the final week. We're coming down to the end, and she's atop of the leaderboard.
Yeah, she started in that purple jersey because she was the 4th finisher of last season. Been gold ever since.
Off hands. What was a dunk from Kaz Brown?
Edmond, the most weeks as captain out of all of those players, Henson Hilly the next closest. But would you call that maybe a little bit of a push or a lift on Kaz there?
No, because I'm afraid of Kaz. I would say
Why?
I would say it's just perfect.
She's sweet.
Team Linehan, Allie Linehan, it's her 2nd week as a captain. She was a captain in week 2 as well. Much more comfortable, she said, this week. And much happier getting a win.
That's definitely the right call. Nutsara's backcourt, which means she cannot go up and be aggressive at the net with it. I think if she had stayed and just stood.
Leaving her arm.
She's saying, I'm not tall enough to cross the
there.
net.
She was trying a one-hand set, she's saying. She does one-hand set a lot.
Yes, but if the ball's already crossed the plane of the net, she can't go over and grab it. That
Did
might have
it?
been the difference there.
Did it?
Good question. Oh,
Another one who's setting every hitter. Cannon shot, no touch called.
Karis Watson as well, following suit with Molly McCage,
Yeah.
just up early, available, recognizing that that's the role of the middle blocker, especially with Team Nutsara. She's not the captain, but it is, you know, as the setter, you're kind of running the team. You have to always be available.
Yeah, I mean, message received on that, wherever you are. What a beautiful back set to Leah Edmond going against the run.
I wonder how many times she looks at Natalia Valentin Anderson and says, give me the ball. So far, 9 kills for Leah.
The middle is getting a lot of attention on Team Linehan. Nutsara twice, goes back to Willow Johnson. What a block! Erin Ferris is fired up.
Erin Ferris is making the most of this time she's got on the court. I love that for her with basically a one-on-one. Karis Watson trying to close up, but has already taken a step with Kaz Brown, so Erin's pretty much by herself there against Collazo.
Nutsara, backcourt. Ooh, a little something extra on that from Allie Linehan.
And that's why that backcourt attack works so well, is because Nutsara has established all the positions. The blockers on the gold side have no idea where they should focus.
That's a great point, Kate. Last 4 sets went to 4 different people.
Now we're always having a look at how these setters are running their offense because it's so difficult to read from the outside.
So we're getting down to week 5. What are you thinking in terms of how this is all going to pan out?
Well, I think Leah's pretty much a shoo-in for the win. Maybe Betty can give her a run for it. I think in the hunt, Claire Chausset, we saw her in the last match. She absolutely goes off, had 27 kills in her last match on Friday. Fantastic player, but I'm giving my outside chance to Molly McCage, A, because she's a middle, and I like her getting a little bit of a look in there. But you know what? I'm going to back the middles. Why not?
She's having a great night tonight, Molly McCage.
Yeah, again, we knew she would. That connection with Nutsara all over the court, and that's a few balls in front there, and that's not even her favorite attack. This is the one that she loves to run that slide behind. I wonder if they're purposely overloading her a little bit on the front tonight because everyone knows how much she likes to do that slide. That's tricky.
I mean, 5 kills on 6 swings for Molly McCage. Meanwhile, Captain Edmond is wired up. Let's go into the action now with the Air National Guard.
Our offense was not the issue. It was those roll shots. Yeah. I think Lindsay was really deep, like really, really, like when I would turn around and those shots that we made, she was like super, super deep, almost on the end line. So I think she has to stay like in middle base, not that deep. Do we want to keep me in the 2 still?
Well, we didn't set you at all in the back row.
I got that one that they were in the net.
They're running with Molly completely in front every time to avoid you guys. You know that.
Yeah, we're flipping. So you're gonna be in the 2, I'm gonna be in the 1. Because it wasn't our offense, it wasn't our serving was getting really, really good. It was just the shot. And we had 4 reception errors and 1 service error, and we lost by 3. That's it. So that's all we have to fix. They're not swinging. They're not beating us on swing. They're beating us on roll shots. And we just have to be a little bit more mindful about that.
Leah Edmond commands attention in the huddle.
Yeah, and I love that she's talking to Rubio there about, hey, should we switch things up? I'm in the outside hitting 2 spot. Should I change it up to go into the 1? And he's saying, hey, they're trying to avoid you in the block. There's just some really good volleyball conversations happening there on the sideline. She has a great volleyball brain.
Let's bring in Savannah Collins.
So I'm over here on the Team Linehan bench that has been intense all night. Tell me some of the rules if you're lined up here on the bench. High fives all around, high fives.
If you're here, you have to have your voice, be ready and be loud. So we need to hydrate just as much as we hydrate on the court. We have to send positive energy, send it all the time. And really, we're also keeping our eyes open. If we see anything, we communicate that to them when they're off during challenges and anytime we really can. So I believe that it takes everybody, it takes the whole team. So what we're doing over here, I think is very important.
Okay, I got to put the notebook down so I can get in on these cheers. What's your favorite one?
My favorite cheer is this one!
Yes! I love it.
Do my favorite cheer. That's my favorite, or the OE, OE, OE.
Out, out, out. I'm on it. I'm on it. How does being a part of an engaged and tuned-in bench impact a game, whether it's your number gets called or encouraging a team and keeping momentum?
Yeah, I mean, I need to be ready at any time. I need to know what's going on, what the scouting report is. Also, you can learn a lot from watching volleyball. So we have incredible athletes out here. I'm learning so much from Erin and Allie just as I watch them. We tend to focus on our own positions and give feedback and also learn from them. Like, they're incredible athletes playing right in front of me. So the best thing I can do is learn.
What's the Team Blue name this week?
It is Cobras.
Oh.
So our thing is like...
Got it.
Yeah.
All right. I'm in. Oh, wait. Is this it? No.
It was out.
It was out? I'm ready.
Out, out, out. Out, out, out.
That's it. I'm in on these cheers. Thank you, Nia, for the tutorial. I appreciate it.
Savannah, I was going to ask you to show us OE, 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 out, out, out. It seems like Sav has really been studying them and enjoying it because she was swinging there.
Oh, she's a volleyball player at heart. Don't get it fooled. I know she comes from softball, but I know she would play volleyball.
A miscommunication on what type of set was coming there between Van der Weide and her setter, Natalia Valentin Anderson.
Well, the Cobras will take any opportunity
to strike.
Ooh, thank you for throwing that in there. I wasn't going to be nearly as witty.
We're trying still to come up with something for the campfire and donut, a different name for the middle of the court, but we do get Cobras strike. Leah Edmond, beautiful pass. Cross court sharp.
There was a bit of venom on that one.
Oh, I love it. Yes, let's do that.
Man, they're the kindest, sweetest, smiliest snakes I think I've ever seen. The least snaky snakes.
I was watching Molly McCage in that one because, you know, everything was so weird. And she was just eyes big and just jumping wherever she was, knowing that that ball could come at any time from Nutsara. Front court setter on both sides. Erin Fairs already has 3 aces tonight. Oh, last minute underneath. Molly McCage slithers through the block.
Molly McCage, are you a real human? I mean, watch the foot movement here. She's getting sprinting off the net. And then the speed that it takes to be in position to get that, the movement she makes here, and then she's up early and quick, and I mean in real time. That is so impressive.
Substitution, and Maria Schlegel comes in and adds value immediately. Number 26 in gold.
Yeah, Leah Edmond looking for any kind of options, any substitutions, some changes, and I think that's important as well. Things aren't going well. Get your bench involved. Find something different, a little bit of different look for the blue side.
Nutsara. They're just running now on Team Linehan, and the captain doing good work.
Yeah, big swings for her. She's fast to the outside, and I believe Natalia Valentina Anderson was up in the block in front, so that's a good time to use the smaller blocker in front.
Set point Team Linehan. Shelly Fanning has come in on the other side, number 97 in blue, seeing her first action. Fanning gets a touch right away. Tough ball. Leah Edmond wasn't outside, and that's where they were trying to set. Bruns Tegenroot finishes it. Sneaky Snakes.
Sneaky Snakes. I love as well, Taylor Bruns, when she comes in, adds that energy right there, so she doesn't get a lot of playing time, sometimes just a serving sub, or maybe that blocking substitution for Nutsara, but she plays that secondary setting role so, so well.
A big win for Team Linehan as they are now 2 sets up in this match. Are they going to win the overall as well? One more set to go. Athletes Unlimited Volleyball on ESPN is sponsored by the Air National Guard and by Aspiration, a global leader in financing climate impact.
Fred is my son. Don't make me cry, please, please. Every day I learn something about him, and also every day he teach me. He's really mature for his age, and sometimes I say, yes, you're right. I have to do what you say. He is my son.
Betty Boumaier from the service line.
When I'm in the court, okay, I'm the player, but when I'm in home, I cook for my son. I give him quality time, and I think this is the most important. And when you can use it, you will be a player and also a good mother. I love him, and I'm so grateful for him.
Cruz is part of, the Athletes Unlimited is amplifying the voices of moms in sport, and she, as a mother, along with Alicia Childress and facilitator Kayla Banworth, Moms in Sport has a specific focus on Black maternal health to ensure that all people can safely give birth and care for their children with dignity, respect, and equitable care. It's such an important cause, and I don't think there's a company that supports mothers better than Athletes Unlimited does. Getting set for set number 3, Team Linehan has won both of the first 2 sets. The MVPs from set number 1 are in Team Hens. 1 across all these players are on Team Hens.
No surprises. Nunna Miller absolutely went off, and she balanced that outside roll with Betty De La Cruz so well. And also Alicia Childress getting in there. She is the one who sets them up, gives them that opportunity to swing, kind of runs the offense, and she was using these 2 as well as all the other puzzle pieces so well.
I had a chance to talk with Brooke between games a bit, and she says she's just soaking in everything that Betty does and tells her.
Well, Betty was giving her some compliments when Savannah spoke to them after the match, and Betty said, hey, you're great. You're fantastic. Keep your confidence high. It's gotta feel good.
Yeah, it sure does. Ball comes down on the same side as Vanderweide's block was not sealed. What are they laughing about?
I have no idea, but Karis Watson.
Oh, I think she hit her setter.
Karis is one of the funniest people that I know. I've taken to sending her every funny meme that I find on Instagram. So just know, if you're playing with her, you're laughing.
And her setter was kind of holding her chin. So did she finish her swing across Nutsara? I don't know. Nice to see some offense from Kaz Brown. She's begging for it again. Oh, that's a quick arm from Lindsay Vanderweide.
Well, there's that spark. Leah loves that kind of spark in her players. Vanderweide has obviously shown it in the last couple of weeks, and now we're seeing it a little bit on court. Starts with that big pickup from Kendall White, and there's a 1.5 block, just a little bit of space there for Vanderweide to go fast.
Both teams starting to get their middles involved more.
Yeah, I like that. I like that all day long. Middles for MVP, you know that's my motto.
Yeah, but it just changes the offense so much and the blocking so much. And we've seen the block dominate quite a bit in the first 2 sets.
And even that ball didn't have to be a hard-driven, aggressive ball. Just right there into the middle, gets 2 players looking at each other, opens up some other spaces.
Crusher. Team Edmond responds.
Yeah, Kaz, another one of those players, hasn't seen a whole lot of action in the offense so far. Only 3 points for her, 2 of them coming from kills.
Willow Johnson comes inside even further. It's a touch. Willow Johnson having a great day. Will she be in the MVP conversation after this match?
I think there's a high probability of it. She's the top scorer for the Linehan side. 12 points for her so far, and she's just consistent. Throw that ball up high, wide, inside. She'll do something with it.
Ayazo working off the hands. One-on-one is not going to be enough to contain Willow Johnson.
And I'm looking at Ali Bastianelli's face because I questioned if she might be the blocker good enough to handle this offense that Nutsara was going to be throwing at her. But how do you read this? Nutsara going twice in a row to the same player. So Ali is just looking around going, who's next? Who's getting this ball? Where do I prioritize?
Well, and certainly the players don't know either, right? Everybody's just making themselves available, and it's all coming down to the final week next week. We've got another day tomorrow, and then somebody's going to take the top of this leaderboard and go home. Top 4 people medal. How do you think it's going to end up?
Well, I already told you I think Leah's probably going to take the top. I like the look of Jose creeping in there, maybe McCage as well, especially if the blue side sweep today. McCage is going to get a big bump as well as Linehan.
This is the only individual championship in the sport of volleyball. There is one player who is the champion. It's not a team. It's so unusual. And it's, a little bit like Queen of the Beach, on the beach, where you got to be able to play with everybody and win with everybody.
That's a good point. And it's so...
Woo! Molly McCage racking it up.
Well, she looks good doing that slide. That's where she looks really, really comfortable. That's why I called her as maybe one to creep in there. But I love this league for exactly that reason. A lot of people outside they ask questions. They say, hey, what is this leaderboard about? What is it about scoring individual points? But it just adds a next level dimension to the sport we already love.
Yes. And with Olympians. I mean, Betty,
sprinkle some of that in there.
Betty De La Cruz, who you heard from earlier, missed 4 matches part of last week, or all of last week, and the opening of this week, because she was competing in the Pan Am Games in which her team won back-to-back gold medals. They'll be playing in Paris in the Olympics.
Cannot wait to watch her and cheer her on.
McCage passes, and no, she's going to get it back. She turns it outside. They're just having fun with each other, McCage and Nutsara.
Yeah, even when things aren't going perfectly. Side set from Nutsara, and normally as the setter, you're going to keep your shoulders facing away from the net. This time she has to turn a little bit to keep her elbows out of it.
Both setters front court. Vander Weide inside, trying to use it off the block. Molly McCage handles it. It's just a hammer when you hear the sound that Vander Weide makes hitting that ball.
And interestingly enough, she went cross-court there, even though she had Nutsara in front of her. Somehow finds a way to get that angle going cross.
Nutsara size, but she's a deceptively good blocker. Leah Edmond wants the ball.
I feel as though we haven't called her name enough tonight.
I think she feels the same.
She's typically, her numbers are usually much higher. She's that kind of player. Get her a good ball.
Well, and we heard it when we listened to her conversation with Dave Rubio, because he said, I don't think you got set once when he was talking about making that change, and she said, I got 1. And you have to have Leah Edmond, be your go-to on this team. Even though Vander Weide is great, you've got all these other weapons, but Leah Edmond has another gear, and we haven't seen it tonight.
We haven't. And I wonder if Natalia Valentin-Anderson is trying to keep things balanced, but sometimes let that balance go by the wayside and feed your beast.
Passes off the net a bit. Vander Weide gets Team Linehan blockers to take it down with them. We're going to have a little chair chat with former University of San Diego player Katie Lukes. Katie, thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
What does it look like from your side of the court when you're watching Team Linehan compete and spread the offense so much?
Yeah, I think it's because we're really able to hold down our pass right now and super disciplined on defense. So we're able to run everything, and Newts is really running the offense, kind of flicking Jack and Jilling the ball right now.
Well, Katie, you were one of the players that was selected in the college draft. Can you tell me what that looked like, what that felt like on the day? Was it a text message? Was it an email? Was it just, hey, you got mail? What was it?
Yeah, Molly texted me and told me that she wanted to select me for the draft as one of the 6, so I was super honored. It was just cool to be able to watch the draft too and have 2 of my other teammates from USD be drafted alongside me after the year we had. So I know it's been such a good experience, and I was just honored that the PEC wanted to bring me on.
You know, we're interested to hear what the conversation has been in the huddle in this match, because even though you guys have won 2 sets against Team Edmond, they're such a dangerous team.
Yeah, you know, we're always like, those 2 sets are behind us. We don't know what they're going to come out doing, but we just got to play our game. Keep the passing composed. I think that's what's really held us against Team Edmond right now. But again, I don't think that we've been doing well on the block, so just be ready for all the shots and everything, stay light on our feet.
I got one more question that has literally nothing to do with volleyball, but you know I love those kind. You were a theater kid. How much acting is involved in volleyball? If the ball is in or out, you got to convince the referee, right?
It's so funny that was on my thing, because I was like, oh, it was like something I kind of did, but I don't think I was a theater kid. I would say I was in like plays in my elementary school, but I think I can be dramatic. I think I can hold my own in the drama of acting like a ball's out.
She's really asking, are you a good liar, Katie? That's the question.
It depends on the day, but here, I think yes.
Okay.
She's not a snake, though.
Not
Only
a snake.
tonight. Only this
Right.
weekend.
Yes, but the best kind of snake.
There you go. Thank you, Katie, for chatting
Thank you.
with us.
Bye, guys.
Tighter set than we have seen, Key, in the first 2. What is Team Edmond doing better? Been 5 ties so far in this set.
Well, one, using the middle a little bit more there. Kaz Brown on cue gets the set, and she almost had to recycle the play herself. Didn't get that first ball, but the reaction there at the top of the net to put that ball straight back down. And I like, again, we talk about using Leah a lot, but you gotta keep using the middles when you can, even when you can't. Anderson way off the net there.
Outside, way off for Linehan. Goes at fellow Wildcat and tagging it. Leah Edmond, new gear achieved.
I mean, Leah Edmond, when she hits that next level, you can almost see the eyes.
It's true.
Bulging out of her head, and that is how much aggression she's putting onto the court. Oh my gosh, this is one of the best attacks I think I've seen all season.
Sitting right in it is Nutsara. Kaz Brown and Leah Edmond were so far over the net with that block.
Yeah, that's a great combination, those two. Aggressive in every area of this block. I want to see slow motion version. Their timing is perfect. And watch the pike as well out of Kaz Brown. So it's almost as if her feet are coming under the net at the same time her hands are going over.
Ball out. I mean, you can feel it really from both Kaz Brown, and you talked about it with Leah Edmond, just dialing up more. Key, there's nothing like a middle blocker amount of work that they do for how many sets they actually get.
I appreciate that, Anne-Marie. So much work to be a middle blocker. But I think, I mean, there's a great swing by Linehan to close it, but close the gap a little bit, stops that 4-point run that Edmond went on that I think, again, as we blinked, we barely even noticed Team Edmond's ahead. And I think for the first time today.
Yes. Well, the first time in the set, they led 3-2 earlier in one of the earlier sets.
Or at least late stages of the sets. They haven't.
Yes, mid-stage of the set, we'll say. But, I mean, this is something we've seen over and over again, is Leah Edmond just kicking it up. It's a question of whether they're going to set Leah Edmond more frequently.
Well, the service pressure heating up. Edmond not happy with that one. Some miscommunications about the reception on her side.
Yeah, and you have to serve tough. Down and at 13 points, even though Team Linehan is down, they have already secured winning the aggregate score. So that's an extra 60 points. So they have won already, Team Linehan. It's 40 for each set and 60 for the overall. They've won 140 points. Can they add 40 more points for each player on their team? Or will Edmond's players finish this one out? They have the lead. Delicious set.
It's fascinating to watch Nutsara work, because as a middle blocker, if you're on the gold side, if I'm on the gold side, I'm following her. She's going forward We'll get a chance to see it. Watch her moving forward towards zone 4, and that's exactly what Ali Bastianelli does. Goes with her, she feels it, doesn't even have to jump, just flings that ball back high and wide. She knows it's gonna be a one-on-one.
It's such a great piece of analysis, Key, because you're just watching it there. You feel helpless, right? If you don't go with her, she'll make you pay for that too.
You're exactly right. Bastianelli has to follow her because she's front court. She could just put it right over.
It's a 1-point game in set number 3.
Going to this season, my literal goal, and I've been telling everyone, was just to be active for all games. I just want to finish an AU season. I want to see closing ceremonies in person, not on TV, not on my phone. I've never been a part of the closing ceremonies picture. They post that picture every year, and I'm never in it because I've never been. Yeah. And so I'm like, well, if they post any pictures from week 5, I'm not there. I've never been in I've never been in them. I think that's always been my goal, and now that I'm in first, it's kind of like I want to stay in first. Yeah. Now that I'm here, but I think I will first be just extremely thankful to just finish this season, and if I can finish and medal at the same time, that would be like icing on the cake.
Still chasing that top spot, but right now she's chasing her first set win of the night. So in the 2021 season, Leah tore her labrum and missed the final weeks of play. Then in season 2, she missed games due to being diagnosed with COVID-19 and had to sit out. And in both of those situations, it impacted on her place on the leaderboard when it looked like she would set to medal. So this year, she's not only chasing that hardware, but can we just get Leah Edmond in the end of season picture, please? She just wants to be grinning with her 44 other teammates when it's all over.
Well, she has been locked in, Savannah, with this, and even the intensity with which she's talking to you. Did she express any sadness about missing those games, or just the frustration that we saw?
It was definitely frustration for her, and she talked about, I felt my potential throughout the weeks leading up to what would have happened for me in week 4, what would have happened for me in week 5 if I was healthy and could have built on the success. And so she says, every day I wake up and I'm just praying, let me get through this match, let me play another match. And she says throughout her whole career, that's all she's ever really wanted, was to be available and active in games.
Yeah, that's such a good point, Savannah, because I remember season 1 playing with her, and then the last weeks came around and she was so frustrated to not be there and saying goodbye to everyone. Just a really emotional time for her. She's got some making up to do today.
A crushing attack picked up from Edmond. If you go to Edmond again, she's going to hurt somebody, man. Fairs. Blasting through the block. And when you look at our active career points leaders, you really see it played out, those misses. Because Leah Edmond they're second all time behind Betty De La Cruz.
Yeah, despite missing those weeks, which is incredible. It just means she's packing on the points whenever she gets the chance to.
Yeah, all these players are active players. Betty De La Cruz missed 4 games earlier to play with the Dominican Republic team. We're tied for the 8th time in this set.
Miranda Wider trying to do a bit too much on that. I'm not sure that that was the attack to go for that angle. The gold side looking a little bit pressed in everything they do. I wonder if they're trying to add a little bit of speed to avoid the block. Molly McCage has been pretty good about staying on the right hitter at the right time, so now they're trying to try something else.
Yeah, she's super quick at the net, Molly McCage is. And if you get a chance to just kind of ISO her, you know, with your eyes as you're watching the play, you'll see her just slide along the net. Slide because she's a snake, of course. Maybe she's slithering along.
Oh, I see what
the
you did
net.
there. I see what you did there.
There it is.
She doesn't have any straight down blocks just yet, but a lot of assists, a lot of touches in the block to slow the ball down. Oh, hello.
Ali Bastianelli.
Is that an ace? Tree planted.
10 trees being planted or being committed to by Aspiration. Oh, that's a filthy block straight down.
That one was all day. Kaz Brown taking ownership at the net. And that's coming from off the net, so she does a really good job to get in position. She's taken away all the angle that Linehan has there. Watch the finish as well, pressing straight back down. I love that Nachi is the one getting the most hyped about it too. Get you a setter that hypes you up in the block.
Amazing play. She wanted to ruin the day, right? That's the plan that she had. She wanted to ruin it. Let's go into the action and listen to Ali Linehan.
Ball. If it gets all the way out, I'm gonna go line.
The line because
Yes.
so you don't like have this.
Okay, so just go ball, and then I'll be really disciplined on a right hand. Leah's gonna come in and she shoves it deep corner, so just make sure you're stopped so you go get that. So that one that. I think we're all like, this is the point in the match where everyone starts to kind of get tired. So let's just really try to be clean and just focus on your job. So whether that's like, I'm just gonna nail this pass and then I'm gonna go cover my heart out, whatever it is, like, don't focus like, shoot, we have to win this game. Like, just your one job and the rest will take care of itself. The only reason
Ali Linehan seems to have settled into her captainship. She didn't really love it week 2, but she has thrived now, and it's so she's playing really well, and she is one of the top 5 outside hitters in terms of stat points.
And it's actually fascinating to me that she and Leia both there in that top 5. I was actually calling a Kentucky game recently, talked to Craig Skinner about the kind of players that he recruits. Those two were the names that came up as far as passionate, driven, in the gym, wanting to get better, really challenging every call at training. So that's what you're seeing, and that's why they're ending up in this leader points status, is because they're the kind of players that want to win every single ball, every single training, every single day.
Molly McCage, tenderness over the top. Team Linehan trails by 2. Linehan far outside. Kaz Brown waiting again. Shut down. McCage and Nutsara combined. Nutsara is so fired up.
As she should be. Counts for triple when a setter gets a block, right? I'm just making up stats. It definitely does not. I don't want to confuse anyone out there.
Yeah, exactly. They're getting it. Molly McCage now serving. Team Linehan trailing by 1. They have already won sets 1, 2, and the overall, that match score you see underneath. There's 40 more points to be had. Oh, and by the way, front court setter.
Well worked by Nati. She had to be so aggressive to get up there nice and early. I love an aggressive setter as well. Nati's one of the most aggressive when it comes to setting, only 5'6". Mitsara on the other side, 5'7", so both the smaller. Blocked.
I love the change of pace.
Paris Watson, a refreshing addition to this blue side. Again, not only because she brings energy, but when she's called on to make those plays, she can do it. Not going to be getting a whole lot of points every single match, but she's certainly coming in clutch when needed.
And she's getting win points with her team, that's for sure. Schlegel ball comes right back. For every ace during this year's Athletes Unlimited volleyball season, Aspiration is committed to planting 10 trees. Heading into this week, 930 trees have been committed thanks to Aspiration's support. That number keeps growing. Key, you're the setter on Team Edmond. Who do you set going down?
Well, first I'd have to apologize to Team Edmond that they get me as their setter, but second of all, I like what Nati tried to do there. She's from really low, trying to get Kaz Brown involved, but I'm giving the ball to Leah.
Yep.
All day long, she has that look in her eyes. She has that grit and determination to score the point no matter what. And I actually see her right now. You can't see off your screen. She's looking at Nati saying, hey, me. They're having some conversation.
I agree. I go Leah Edmond any chance you can. Kaz Brown makes that work to the backcourt.
The difficulty is, I think, having a setter, or excuse me, having a captain who is also a hitter. As a setter yourself, how much do you take that on and say, yes, I keep just setting this player because she's my captain, or I just run the game I want to? That would be the difficult part for me as a setter.
The thing is, the captains on both of these teams are the leading scorers. Allie Linehan and Leah Edmond.
She's going OT. Looks like she's jumping off a trampoline when she gets up there. I mean, that's a big block in front of her. I think she's going over Willow Johnson and Karis Watson, but still going nice and high.
Pass is perfect. Bounce down from Willow Johnson. We've only got 4 more days of Athletes Unlimited Volleyball before an individual champion is crowned. Leah Edmond adding to her case, and this is before win points or anything like that. MVP points have been added.
Well, I think she might be a bit frustrated after this match. As it's coming out on court, as you can see it, but she would like those win points. They're more important than the individual points. She's definitely carrying her load in terms of individual scoring, but the win point's the most crucial. She's looking for every single point she can get. If she can take this third set, that's crucial.
Yeah, for example, that Leah Edmond gets 8 points for that kill, but if they win the set, then she'll get 40 points, and if she gets MVP, or one of these MVPs, you can get 60, 40, or 20 points. So that's why we say win points and MVP points are really big in terms of adding to your point total. And Leah Edmond has won a lot this year.
Yeah, I'm trying to do the math in my head as to if a kill's worth 12, you have to get 5 kills to equal
But a
an
kill's
MVP.
worth 8.
Okay, there you go. See, exactly. Don't let me do math.
Chased it down. Erin Ferris is nice and wide. They go back to Willow Johnson. She gets hands. Line judges don't call it, and Allie Linehan does not hesitate. One of these teams will have set point. Which one is it going to be?
Well, I was looking at Leah Edmond's face immediately after the call. She looks a little bit guilty.
I saw a touch in live action, I feel like. I'm also always wrong.
Oh yeah. Big touch.
Yep, big touch. So this would put, if the officials agree, and they matter more in terms of what they see.
Our opinion counts for nothing.
Yeah,
is what you're
exactly.
Saying. Yep.
But that would give Team Linehan basically a sweep of this. They would win all 3 sets because they will be leading 24-23 if this call gets overturned. and the aggregate. That's a lot of points.
Well, they still need to get one more if they get 24.
Yes, if they
Yeah,
win
Gotcha.
this set, then they would have a sweep.
And that's huge. Yeah, that would be a huge win for the blue side, especially might knock Leah Edmond out of the gold spot. Is that potential?
Well, I don't know. We could look at it, but Allie Linehan is way up there within the top 4. No doubt she will be an MVP of some kind from this match.
Ooh, harder to tell from that angle.
Yeah, but
I thought we saw it. I
the
thought we
net
were
angle.
convinced in that first shot that we
Yeah.
saw, but the referees taking their time to look at it, and rightfully so, because as you mentioned, the flip of score here could make or break the win for one of these two teams.
Yeah.
Here's where we
Where's
thought we
Leah?
saw that touch. Look at the fingers. For me, it's those fingers. They're
Yeah.
moving back just
I
ever
think
so
so.
slightly.
Let's see if we can slow it down even more.
Usually when you see it on the reverse,
Yeah.
that's when you see something
Yeah,
weird
I think
happening.
it's the index finger of the left hand. I'm committing to that. Right there. The officials have made a decision, and the call has been reversed. That is a big impact as the score will flip.
I'm watching Leah Edmond's face. Said, no, no, no. Yeah, I touched it. Well, acting can only get you so far.
Set point. Shelly Fanning serving. Pass is there. It's going to Edmond, of course. Another free ball. It's going to go to Edmond again. And she's headhunting at this point. Locked at 24s.
She gave Natalia Valentin Anderson a mission. Signed, sealed, and delivered. Get me the ball now and again and again and again.
She gave her the stink eye, we call it.
Is that what that is?
Yes.
Setters know it well.
Betty De La Cruz definitely has a stink eye.
Yeah, she does. Bombastic
Willow Johnson.
side-eye.
That's a big block from Leah Edmond. She came down, landed a little awkwardly. Sending it back, and Team Linehan, set point number 2.
Well, you're saying Leah Edmond landed awkwardly. I hope we haven't jinxed her by talking about her making it to the 5th week.
I know, but I'm not going to talk about it. I'm refusing to have this conversation with you. How's your day going?
Go great. Yeah, how's
Okay,
yours?
good. Okay. Set point number 2. Bruns Tegenroot serving. She often comes in to serve, even if she's not setting. Molly McCage up front. Well, and Leah Edmond able to get it down in front, even though everybody knows it's going to Leah.
Everybody, everyone in the gym, me, you, the babies that are sleeping in the corner. And on Molly McCage, of all people, classically, she's really disciplined at getting that inside arm over.
But now Leah Edmond is in the back court. Set is low. McCage not able to attack it, and Taylor Bruns Tegenroot is calling for the sub. The double sub coming in now.
And that's tough because there's for that one play when Nutsara wasn't in. Taylor Bruns trying to use the middle, but the connection a little bit off there.
First set point for Team Edmond. Fairs, blocked. Linehan big on the cover. Molly McCage, are you kidding me? Huge, huge work. Natalia Valentin Anderson at 5'6", the joust for the win.
And Molly McCage at 6'3", can't keep it from coming back on. Well, smart move by Leah there. First of all, to focus on Molly and get that serve short. It's a little bit of scramble and cover play, one-on-one to the outside. I thought Fairs had it there. Then I thought Molly had it, but Nazi had other ideas. What a pressure moment. Nazi, a pressure moment player all around.
that gives you the perfect example of how much these players love this and are competing. Her reaction at the end, the reaction of her players, this matters to them. Let's listen in on Leah Edmonds' reaction. They were able to get one set. Team Edmond, no doubt, will be adding some points for Leah Edmond, who's at the top of the leaderboard right now for MVP points as well. Do you agree?
Yeah, that's a clutch scrap there at the end to get those points. Because again, a sweep would have been pretty detrimental to her spot on the leaderboard.
Who are your other MVPs?
I'm giving Linehan.
Here's your top
McCage.
spots. Natalia Valentin Anderson, does she get anything for that ending? I mean, that's pretty darn good. So there's your look at the leaderboard. 200-point lead, 200-plus point lead. And this is before the MVP points.
I think Linehan's getting a couple of them.
I think Leah Edmond is too. And of course, the last three already have their MVP points. All right, this actually was before MVP points, maybe for all three of them. It's coming down. We've got 4 days left of action. Who will take the individual title? Savannah Collins is standing by.
Thanks, Anne-Marie. I'm joined by the quarterback of this creative offense that we've got to watch this weekend, Nutsara. Nutsara, what about these hitters let you have fun and be creative in your offense?
First, I believe in them. So I feel like all the players, they are good players. So that's why for me, so easy to play with them.
Thank you, Nutsara. I appreciate it. And we're going to talk to one of the hitters that was a huge part of spreading things out, Willow Johnson. Willow, 16 kills, hit 470 tonight. What allowed you and had the biggest impact on your performance?
I mean, my team. Everyone just stuck to the game plan. Our energy was great from the beginning. Nutsara's getting me in one-on-one situations. I just felt like I didn't even have a block at some points. I just felt so free to hit. And Nutsara's doing that, running our offense amazing.
The momentum of this group was nearly unstoppable. How have you built on Friday, practice yesterday, coming in strong tonight?
Yeah, you know, every match here is going to be a tough one. There's not one that's going to be easier than the other. Every person here is an amazing volleyball player. So I think just resetting and using today during our serve and pass to go over scouting, and we really stuck again to that game plan. That's what won us this match, and our energy. Everyone from player 1 to 11 on this team brought it tonight, and I'm just couldn't be so proud of my team right now.
Thank you, Willow. Nutsara, too. Appreciate you both.
Yeah,
congrats on the win.
Great job, Savannah. Good work there, getting a little bit of chat out of Nutsara. She's a little camera shy, but I love hearing her when we get a chance to.
Coming up tomorrow, Team Hilly versus Team Linehan, 7 p.m. Eastern time on ESPN+. And then our second match of that doubleheader, Team Hentz versus the Team Edmond you just saw, 9:30 Eastern time on ESPNU. Another fantastic day. There's only 4 more days of action before Athletes Unlimited crowns a 2023 champion. Team Linehan wins 75-64 in the overall score. Coverage of Athletes Unlimited Volleyball continues Monday at 7 Eastern. For my partners, Savannah Collins and Key Michael, I'm Anne-Marie Anderson. Once again, Team Linehan takes the match. Team Edmond takes the set.